Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Pat Zemer here with MagnaWave for the Tuesday edition of Office Hours. Try to come to you every Tuesday to visit with you, answer any questions you may have about PEMF, pulsed electromagnetic field therapy, MagnaWave, machines, training, all kinds of things, just questions in general about MagnaWave. We're certainly glad to have you here with us. If you'd be so kind, please share this broadcast if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, with your friends, and they may have questions that they may want to ask as well. So we're here to do that, and we'll get started right away. Just want to let you know that my latest book, it's kind of a busy week, actually, busy month for books for me. My latest book is Wake Up Miracles. 45 different doctors and practitioners describe and tell the story about various what people consider miracles in their practice. I always hate to talk about our machine providing miracles, but what happens is the results that people quite often get utilizing our devices and other integrative therapies in their life, they have results that they're excited about, that they feel like miracles. They're a change. They're something that's beyond what they certainly expected. And that's the latest book that's coming out, that's out. It published just last week, and we are #1 bestsellers on Amazon at this point. So we're very excited about that. Let's see, I believe I've got a picture here of the book. So here it is, Wake Up Miracles. As I said, there's about 45 different participants in the book, doctors. A lot of them were participating with us in the last book, which was Wake Up Happy Brain, which were stories about doctors and various practitioners and what they did to help with depression, happiness, day-to-day life happiness in the brain, and certainly various illnesses of the brain that people often suffer from, and how people are approaching that with integrative therapies and mainline medicine combined. So that was the previous one. The most recent one is Miracles, Wake Up Miracles. And what we're going to do today, if you give me a call or send me a text and I call you back, you'll receive a free signed copy of the book, Wake Up Miracles. So that's what we'll be doing. We'll be supplying you with a free signed copy of my latest book. It's a great book. There's a lot of wonderful stories in there. And if you're a practitioner, actually both of those books would be beneficial for you, because it just shows the depth of integrative medicine and integrative techniques that are taking place today, as oftentimes main medicine and outside therapies are mixed to be complementary and to provide the results that folks are looking for. And so I think you'll find the book quite interesting. I think not only may you find my chapter interesting, but various chapters in the book. Muriel Hemingway contributed a chapter to this book. My friend, Dr. Patrick Porter, among others, has chapters in this book. So it'll be very interesting. So it covers all aspects, sports therapy, all that type of information, and that you can process, think about it, apply it to your particular practice that you have, and whether you're using PEMF or not, it's just a great source of education that you may enjoy. So again, if you want to send me a text today, 502-599-9722, I will phone you back. We can have a conversation to answer your questions, and you will receive a free signed copy of my latest book, #1 bestseller on Amazon, Wake Up Miracles, from around the world. So we'll hope that you will do that. Haven't seen anybody pop in just yet, but you'll get a free book today signed by me, if that makes any difference. But I'd love to send you a copy of my latest book. Also this week coming up on Thursday, my book on business, Pillars of Success with Dr. Jack Canfield, not doctor, but with Jack Canfield. It's been a pleasure to work with Jack and to participate in his book, and we're looking forward to it moving up the list and being a great source for people to learn. You know, pillars are interesting. It takes pillars to hold up buildings and pillars of your foundation to hold up your house. Well, it takes pillars of success foundation to be successful in your business, in your day-to-day business. And so this is an opportunity to read what many people have done and the tactics that they use, the tricks that they put together in play to build their businesses. And so I'm happy to be in this book. It'll be launching Thursday, and we'd love for you to participate with that. There will be some specials. Working on some bonus links. If someone purchases this book on Thursday, there's a text coming in. We'll be going to them to check that one out. And but at any rate, so we're going to have some bonuses. There'll be a bonus of a consultation, a 30-minute consultation with me, just to talk about your business and what you're doing. Not really a coaching call, but maybe an analysis of coaching, where you are, maybe how that compares to what I have done over the years to build our business and make things go. And again, this book is a compendium, just like the Miracles book. There's all kinds of stories in here with how different people built their businesses and became successful in their lives. And it can be a great read to pick up tidbits of what people have done. And quite often that's what happens. It's like a recipe. A good cook listens to what people are doing, pulls different ingredients, puts a recipe together, and bingo, there's a great recipe for a food source. And you can have the same thing in your business. And you can have the same thing with the Miracles book in your business by seeing what other people are doing, complementary and integrative. So that's the promos for today. And I'm not trying to be over promoting, but it is a great source and a great way for us to learn and see what's going on in our business success and in the health aspects of what we're doing. So let's go over here. We got a message open, get a call in here. Got a question, RE session times. Okay, let's do a dial. Put the speaker on and we'll get to play here.
Hello.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Pat.
How are you?
I'm great. I have a question. So I got a new account last week working on saddlebred horses.
Uh-huh.
And I have a Maxx machine and I have all the attachments and I've been treating 3 other horses for certain injuries.
Uh-huh.
And I left one of the stalls yesterday. He'd only asked me to do, he's familiar with the MagnaWave machines. They used to have one. So, I left the stall and he was like, "You're done already?" And I was only sent in there to do the navicular. So I had my Zoom paddle and the hoof box and I did both feet, 10 minutes of each. And I'm doing them twice a week.
Okay.
And I was like, yes, I'm done. This is all the horse needs. And I just got the feeling that he just thought I needed to spend more time on the horses. And I tried to explain that, with this machine, it's not like some of the other machines. I can get both sides. If I'm doing a full body, I can get both sides done in half the time. How do you confront that? Or should I spend more time on horses?
Well, that's a great question. And I want to say that we've had that problem over the years. Some people have purchased machines, they go in to treat a horse and they spend an hour. And then all of a sudden, when I was treating over the years, my typical treatment time was 20 to 30 minutes. And I would spend more time if necessary. But what sometimes happen is practitioners go and they just love what they're doing, or they feel that this is what they need to do, and they spend an hour. Then all of a sudden their question becomes, do I have to spend an hour? No. It only takes a half an hour, maybe 35, 40 minutes. If you're doing other areas, you can spend up to an hour. But the bottom line here is it's easier to give time than to take time away. So if someone is used to someone spending 45, 50 minutes on an animal, and then you spend 20 minutes, 10 minutes on each foot, they're thinking, oh my gosh, what'd you do? You didn't do it. But in reality, if you're correct, if you're only treating navicular, 5 to 6 minutes to 10 minutes per foot is all that you need to do to acclimate that. Now, might you want to go and say, okay, I've done both feet and I'm going to spend 10 minutes on the overall body of the horse, which is going to send good oxygenated, rejuvenated blood into the areas of the feet and other areas of the body. So your time is perfect. Let me just back up and go again. In the beginning, we treated the whole horse. Now we treated the whole upper body of the horse, and then we treat the legs and feet if necessary. But we treat the whole upper body of the horse, and that was the standard. And then along came 2008, 2009, where the great recession as it was, and people got worried about money. And so that's when we started breaking it down into head, shoulders, top line, back, hips, feet, whatever. And if you've ever heard me describe that, I went from treating a whole horse to where I would go to a barn and treat 3 horses. I treat the shoulders and neck on this one, the hips on that one, the feet and legs on the other one, and I'd walk out in the same amount of time. I'd walk out in 30 to 45 minutes with the same amount of money that I would make if I would treat one horse previously. Then when I would go back, the folks would say, okay, do the shoulders on this one, do the whole horse on that one. What I'm trying to get to is more the same thing. People are accustomed. So this particular trainer may have had a practitioner who spent an hour on each horse, and you go in and spend 20 minutes and they think, are you doing it? And the proper explanation is it only takes 5 to 10 minutes per location that you're treating if you're treating a specific thing. If you're treating a hock, if you do more than 10 minutes on a hock, you're overdoing it. The horse only needs so much energy in that particular area. And so those are the confusions that come in. But people have gotten used to what they think is a regimen. And then they think, well, you're only doing it for 20 minutes. And I don't know how you're charging. Maybe we could have a little bit of that discussion, but that's how I've always looked at it. So again, it's easier to give time than to take time away. But the proper explanation is 5 to 10 minutes per area is all that's required. Now, if someone has a horse has an acute situation, it stumbled in the performance yesterday, and obviously the shoulder is sore, you might do 10 minutes on that shoulder, 15 minutes on that shoulder, wait and do the rest of the horse, come back and spend another 10 minutes on that shoulder, and just try to get ahead of it in a more rapid type of fashion. Is that clear for you? Does it help?
Yes, very much so. Yeah. And, I'm able to turn the machine up, and
sure.
doing, the same thing. Now, on the Maxx machines, we don't have a setting. We just have a dial.
Correct.
And it keeps going until you could have a pulsating beat every, 5 seconds if you wanted to. How high is high on those machines?
Well, your body is going to tell you what high is. For example, and I'll just talk about people for a second. If you're treating 2 different people with a sore back, I may be able to take more energy because of my weight, my size, where the pain is than someone else. And so high to me may not be high to you. Or high to me may be very high to you or to someone else. So high, the body will tell you what high is. Now, when you're treating feet, ankles, hocks, knees, the whole 9 yards, there's not as much tissue there. So typically you could provide more energy or turn the device higher. And that's quite often the case when you're dealing with feet, navicular, those types of situations. With your Maxx, what I'd recommend if you're treating for 10 minutes, if you put it on the foot and you have it there on the pad, you might for a minute or 2 during that treatment time turn it down a little bit, and then kind of flip it up a little bit, and then maybe take it to the higher setting that you had to provide some different levels of energy to the area, which keeps it becoming familiar. You've probably heard me say different directions, different intensities, the tissue receives the signal more favorably. And so that's the way that you can approach it from that standpoint. But again, on a horse, if you're treating a horse, I tell what's too high by looking at the horse's eye. See what's too high by looking at the eye. Write that down. But at any rate, by looking at the eye, you can tell if they're comfortable. You can see it. When they're not comfortable, they'll glaze, they'll turn around and look at you. Like I say, they want to take your head off, that type of thing. That's a time to turn it down. And that's the way to judge it. You can't always judge it by the amount of muscle flexation that you receive, because you may have an animal that their hip is really pulsating, and by looking at it, you think, oh my gosh, that's too much energy, that's too much power. It cannot be comfortable. Look at their eye. If you look at their eye and they're comfortable, their head's down, they're licking, they're drooling, they're fine. And so that's the best gauge of what is too much. Now, with that said, and you've got experience, you've been doing this for a while, I presume, you know pretty much what is a comfortable setting to start at and where you can go in terms of a height amount of energy. However, for those of you who are new and are you really not totally comfortable with where you are, pick a setting. Pick a setting that's click, 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 or click, 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 click. That's not too high, but yet it's not click, 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 where you can't count it. Now, too fast to count is fine for starting, but at any rate, where I'm going is just pick a nice click, 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 click type of setting. Treat. Don't worry about it. Treat. You'll get some movement here, some movement over here. You are treating, you are providing the energy to the horse that's beneficial. As you learn, as you become more familiar with the horse or with the barn's horses, you'll know that I can turn it up on this horse a little more than that horse. I know that this horse has some more deep sacral issues than, than the other horse. And so you treat accordingly. And that's the way to have a look at that. Does that help?
Very much so. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Send your email to support@magnawavepemf.com. I'll send you a signed copy of the new Wake Up Miracles book.
Look forward to it.
Okay.
Thank you, Pat.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Great question. If you'd like to ask a question and receive a signed copy of my latest book, Wake Up Miracles, please send me a text. I will call you back and we'll have a conversation to that end. 502-599-9722, and certainly look forward to answering your questions. Let's see if there's any comments here or questions in the chat box. Hey, John, thanks for being with me this morning. Maureen's here. Good morning, Maureen. Tracy, Bridget's with us. Carrie's with us. Good day. Let's see. Going down here, Felicia's with us, Dion's with us, John Cox is with us. Great, John. Look forward to you enjoying the book as well. No questions there. If you'd like to have a conversation, 502-599-9722. I'll call you right back and we can have a conversation about whatever it is you would like to discuss. And, you know, there's a lot of things going on. I mean, there's more and more. I was watching a video yesterday, and of course, we've talked about the COVID that's going on and what people are doing and the inflammation problems that it causes. And I looked at my wife and I said, you know, we're taking aspirin, we're drinking a lot of fluids, we're putting HydroWave in our body to help the oxygenation. And, you know, there's some discussion about bacterial involvement with COVID, then the virus aspect of COVID. But at any rate, to that end, I'm treating myself. We're treating ourselves every day, treating our lungs and back to have good blood flow, good oxygenation, no inflammation in the lungs. And so we're working very hard. That's what the doctors in Mexico did back in 2008, 2009, when they had a virus problem at that time, and they had very good success with their patients. I'm not saying what this does and that is the only thing to do, but I'm saying good prevention, kind of like washing your hands and wearing your mask or whatever it is you're doing. Good prevention, good health care of your lungs and your blood flow in your body, I think, is critical to any type of situation that you're dealing with. So we've had various conversations with that and that are fine, very interesting. Let's see. Sophia asks, continuing on the treatment duration theme. My horse really enjoys pole treatments. I have a semi-5 and treat 10 minutes level 1. Is there any benefit to treating longer? Probably not. I mean, you know, if the horse is comfortable and you want to treat for 15 minutes, you know, fine. Is 10 minutes at level 1, if your horse drops its head, if your horse becomes comfortable, you're doing it. To do any more is not necessary. Could you do a little more if you want to? Sure, if you just want your horse to enjoy it and feel good. But the pole is a key place. For years, you know, we kind of, I'm almost embarrassed to talk about it this way, that you know, we're treating animals. And we started out and we treated animals, and they will go out and they get good results. Then all of a sudden we thought, what about if we treat the pole? What'll happen? Well, then you see the relaxation, you see the head drop, you see the drooling, you see all that kind of stuff. Then they get on their horse and they go out and say, my goodness, he's paying attention to me. He feels more focused on what he or she is doing when they're participating in the events that they're working with. And that's what you get from the pole. You've heard me tell the story, $1 million horse, did great in practice, go to the ring with people in the stands, would do nothing. They called me and said, "Oh, we don't understand." I said, "Treat the pole." They treated the pole twice. Horse went to the ring the following Saturday and won a $100,000 Grand Prix because the horse was comfortable, the horse had concentration, and away they went. And they were doing everything else, thinking, "What do we, let's get the horse feeling better in his muscles and joints." And really, it was more of a situation with brain function and being able to pay attention. So here's another call coming in. Let's give a ring here and make sure I turn the speaker on.
This is Dion.
Hey, Dion, Pat Ziemer.
Hi, Pat. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Great.
Good.
Hold on, let me pause the. I was wanting to know what the best times are. How would I know the treatment times for the LZR? I'm just barely getting into that, and just want to make sure when I talk to somebody that I know what an appropriate answer is to give them.
The treatment time on an LZR is the initial treatment time is part of the device. You start the device, it runs for a minute and shuts itself off. And so most indications to treat, let's say you're treating a shoulder with the LZR. And so you put it on the area and you treat on the front of the shoulder where you're having the pain. To turn it on for a minute, 2 minutes would be okay, but typically to put the energy in there, a minute would be enough, or you could do it 2 minutes. And then you could, if you wanted to move it a little bit, maybe put it back behind the joint because it will penetrate the bone. It will put the light energy into the bone as well if there's any bruising or something like that. But typically, let's talk about weight reduction with the LZR. As somebody would move, if they're working on their abdomen, then they want to have some inch reduction in their abdomen, and they're doing that in conjunction with MagnaWave. It's a minute per location as you move it across your abdomen to help shrink the fat cells, turn them into like raisins, and then you use the MagnaWave to pulse the area, to push those cells into the lymphatic system and away to gain the weight reduction or the inch reduction that someone is looking for. So again, the treatment times are a minute to 2 minutes on an area, and that's really all you need. You don't have to go 10 minutes or anything like that, but it produces heat, and if you put it on an area for a minute and didn't move it and hit the start button again, you might get real warm and almost uncomfortable. So we don't want that. And to that end, if you're treating an animal, if you go to a horse and you want to treat up on let's say the withers area, you want to separate the hair a little bit, separate the coat a little bit, put the LZR on it so it's getting to the skin, and then treat it in that fashion. Now there, you could treat for a minute with the hair separated and then move it over a couple inches, treat it, separate some more hair, wet the area, separate it a little bit. Don't want to wet it too much, but separate the hair, put it on, let the light go into the skin. It'll penetrate down and get the area. Then come back. My feeling is complementary. Come back and put the MagnaWave on the area and help it a little further. Or you could do it in reverse. You could do the MagnaWave, then come back and do the LZR on the area where it's the hock, knee. Now, there's areas on a horse and even small animals that they don't have as much hair. So it's more easy, if you will, to get the light source to the skin area that you want to get it to.
Sure. Now, are there anything that I need to be concerned about or cautious about when treating maybe an open wound on an animal?
Well, on an animal,
on a person, I guess.
No. What you want to do is, for example, using LZR on open wounds, you probably won't put the light right on the wound. However, what some people do is they'll take plastic wrap, if you will, and put it over the area. Then they can place the light right on it.
Okay.
Sure. And then that'll help the circulation. That'll help the closing of the wound, much like a laser does. The light is remarkable how it helps close open wounds and promote for their healing when you're talking about on a horse or whatever. Now, you don't have to do that. You could take that light, hold it maybe half an inch over the wound area, because all you're really concerned about at that point initially is the surface healing.
Yes.
You want to get it closed up. You want to get a good surface healing beginning, and then you're going to go deeper. The MagnaWave is going to go deeper to help that blood flow and the oxygenation real deep. The light doesn't go as deep, but it does go deep. And so so you don't have to be directly on the skin if you're dealing with an open wound. You can be over it, and you can see it. That's what is amazing to me with light therapy, and you're over the wound. You can actually see it beginning to, what term do I want to use? Grow over, coagulate, shadow a little bit, kind of get a shadow in the wound area, so it's actually trying to mesh, if you will.
Sure.
And you can see that. So that's the thing there. Same thing. You don't need, if it's a larger wound, you might want to go around the wound a little bit and then right on the area of the wound. But you a minute or two per location. If the device will cover the wound, then you only need a couple of minutes per treatment. You might do that every day. You might do it twice a day for the first few days just to kind of help the healing process along. But a minute, 2 minutes is all you need in those situations.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Does that help?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Okay, send an email to support@MagnaWave PMF, and we'll send you your copy of Wake Up Miracles.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
Have a great day. Bye-bye. Okay, a couple of great questions. I love conversational questions on the phone, and being able to talk to the folks, because we always go a little deeper when we do that, as opposed to just talking about it or answering it after I read a question. Good, Alicia, I look forward to the book as well. It's available. I think Chris is going to put the link up if you'd like to purchase the book and have a look at it. I know on the Jack Canfield book that's coming out, we have a link for that that'll be going up when we put that in the put that up on Thursday, the actual launch day of the book. If you want that particular book, wait till Thursday and purchase it then, because that'll help us reach our #1 status that we're looking to do. But I'm also going to have a couple of specials on that book, a consultation to talk about your business, a 15-minute to 30-minute consultation if you buy one of the books on the launch period. And also I'm going to give you access to my weekly newsletter on success principles, success in your business, in all those types of things. And so that's looking forward to that as well. But okay, let's see. Absolutely, is much more aligned and focused after pulled treatments. Thank you for your tips. Well, there's a lot of tips out there, and that's the other thing that I'm always amazed about, is how much we learn when we share together, coming off of these processes. Is that there's so much that we learn from each other. And I've told the story that for years people would ask me questions, and all I had was my experience, or the experience of a few other people around the country who were treating horses on an active basis and small animals. But as time grew, and as it is today, we have practitioners that have more experience, I think, than what I have. And they're working in specific disciplines, and they really have got experience in that. That's what's beautiful about the private group, MagnaWave certified practitioners, is that you can go in there and ask a question, and my goodness, the answers that you get. And Aaron's certainly in there answering questions and helping people along with their various aspects of their treatment regimens, and that you can gain tremendous amounts of knowledge there for specific indications as well as general indications. And certainly we cover as much as we can in the training, but there's always new stuff that comes up that people figure out. And so it's a great place for you to go. All right, let's see. Great. First office hours for Leslie. Thank you for being here, Leslie. We hope you enjoy it. And those of you on Castbox, I'm welcoming you today. I'm glad that you're with us, and we hope that you enjoy it in the radio format from Castbox. Let's see. All right. If you have a question, please put us in. Hazel's with us on Castbox. Good morning, Hazel. Elliot's with us. Danya is with us on Castbox today. Sonu Kumar has joined us on Castbox, and so we're glad that you folks are with us over on Castbox as well. Okay, let's see. There went my phone to the floor. Sorry for the noise, but it's here. If you have a question and you want to talk about it, send me a text, 502-599-9722, and I'll send you a signed copy of my book. And if you'd like to connect, I'm on LinkedIn at Patrick Zemer. You can go over there and we'll have a look on LinkedIn. You know, there's a lot of stuff happening in the marketing, and I know Elaine is having her marketing classes talking about what you can do with starting your business and how to build your business and bring your first employees online or whatever it may be. But there's a lot of stuff happening in the LinkedIn space. There's a lot of new stuff happening on Facebook to where you can really target your ads to your locale, to the people that have the same interests that you have in the health and wellness of their animals or themselves. And so we want to help you bring that stuff together. And that's one of the things that what I want to do is it's become amazing to me. You know, you don't think about this self. It's like a practitioner providing the treatment. There was a time when I did treatments, and then I started helping people to do treatments, and I started answering questions about how people can do treatments and you can treat your animals and so on and so forth. And as it went on, you start having questions about that, and you finally sit back and realize, wow, sometimes when I have these conversations, I remember things that I didn't know that I knew. You know, people ask me a question and then I'm finished and somebody will say, where did that come from? Well, I remember so many years ago that we did this or we did that, and that's how it worked. And so it's just fun to be able to share and to help you learn more about PEMF and to expand your businesses. We have another call. Marlene has a question. Let's bring her up here and have a conversation with Marlene.
This is Marlene.
Hey, Marlene, Pat Zemer. How are you this morning?
Yes, Pat, good. How are you doing?
I'm great.
Good. Well, I had a question. I'm treating a horse that has cushings. It's been treated by the vet, given medication. It seems comfortable when I'm treating him. I just didn't know if there was any other suggestions that you had in treating a horse with cushings.
Well, you know, you're dealing with a situation that sometimes is more, it gets a bit chronic, and so you have to stay after it and stay with it. And, you know, again, each animal is different. So the best thing you can do is to treat the overall body and to continue to treat. I think Cushing's is an area we want to talk, you know, treating the pole, giving comfort mentally and relieving stress could be beneficial there, and to help them in those areas. But good overall body treatments, it's pretty interesting what rejuvenated blood and good blood oxygenation can do to many different indications. So I think you're on track as to where you are. That's a good question. If you've got, you know, if you talked about the age of the animal, climate, where you are, and put that into the certified practitioner page, and people can come in with that have had similar situations that can provide advice.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, send an email to support at MagnaWave PMF to get your free copy of the book.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. All right. Good questions this morning, and always interesting to cover those bases. Tina talks about, I'm newly certified and just getting going. This is the first time joining this forum. Thank you for providing these learning opportunities. Well, you're certainly welcome. And that's what it's all about. If we can help you learn, if you learn, we all grow. And because you can grow and be successful, and you can help your clients be more successful and happier in their day-to-day activities. 502-599-9722 if you'd like to receive a free signed copy of my latest book, Wake Up Miracles. It's very interesting. If you go to Amazon and have a look at it, it kind of talks about, it lists the doctors that are there, the practitioners that are there, and participating in that particular book. My beard came from that particular book. I was got the chance to spend a week or two in the Keys this early in February, before all the COVID stuff really took off. But we were in the Keys, and we went to visit the home of Ernest Hemingway. And then later that same day, I was in a conversation with Stephen Schmidt and Muriel Hemingway, and she's participating in the book. And so it was just kind kind of interesting that all that was taking place at the same time. So I thought maybe I'll just, for fun, I'll do my, what I call my Ernest Hemingway appearance, if you will. And that's when that started, was in early February. And to this point, the boss around here hasn't said take it off yet. So it's comfortable, and it's kind of fun, and it's a good story. And so there you have it. If you'd like to talk about the book or talk about the machines, talk about PEMF, put it in the question box there, and I'd be happy to answer it. Or give me a call, 502-599-9722. Send a text, and I will call you right back promptly. Let's see. Sandy's with us from California. How you doing? Sandy, nice to hear from you as always. Let's see. Any other questions? Nothing popping up there. No calls. I'll stay as long as we have good questions and conversation. I don't want to make you hang around any longer than you want to or need. Priaz Aguari is with us on Castbox. Hello. And we're glad that you're with us this morning. One of the things that I'm planning on doing, a couple of things happening. I talked last week about the Biohacking Wellness TV channel on Roku and Fire TV. There was one thing that we were missing, and that's part of our Roku hookup, and I hope to have that completed. We've been uploading content into the apps, and it will be, hopefully we'll get the Roku version and the Fire TV version launched this week. That's Biohacking Wellness on Roku and Fire TV. There will be video on demand categories that you can select from: small animals, integrative health, large animals, bovine, the whole 9 yards. There will be specific light therapy. Dr. Turchin and I are getting ready to do another webinar this week on sports therapy utilizing the LZR UltraBright. And we're doing some work with the LZR on neuropathy in combination with the MagnaWave. So we're really looking to develop that. A lot of neat things coming here later in the year when we start talking about human devices and human applications, and just a lot of things happening. And so we're looking forward to those announcements and some teasers that you might be able to see some new things coming forward here shortly. But that is going on, and one of the things that I intend to do is to, on the Biohacking Wellness channel, is to interview and go over the people that have participated in the Wake Up Miracles, in the Wake Up Happy Brain book, and I also want to have a whole series talking with you, our practitioners, about what you've done, what you've experienced in your business. And so it's, when I say biohacking wellness, I'm also going to get into business wellness. And so you can talk and share your story so people can learn and be energized and understand how they can also participate and find some happiness and health and wellness and bringing that to their clients. So that's a lot of stuff that's going on. If you'd like to talk with me, send a text, 502-599-9722. I'll give you a call back. I'll send you a copy of my latest book, Wake Up Miracles. And I think you might find that very enjoyable and as a learning piece of documentation to have for your practice or your basic health and wellness as an individual. If you just want to have an idea there, everything from sports therapy to dieting to from mainline medicine to integrative therapies and things like MagnaWave and various other aspects, vibrational therapies like Dr. Brennan does. And so just a lot of information there that you can grow and learn from as you move forward with your business. Maureen asks a question: how effective is the LZR on scar tissue on an older suspensory injury? Boy, that's a great question, Maureen. As you know, the older the scar tissue, sometimes the stiffer, sometimes it's not as elastic as you would like it to be, certainly, and that is a problem. Now, I did, and I want to bring a laser into this a little bit, and we always talk about the LZR is like having a laser. So instead of spending $15,000 on a laser, you can spend $1,000 or so on an LZR and get many of the same benefits. Dr. Turchin talks about that. He talked about that in MagnaCon, his MagnaCon presentation, and the presentations that are available, and he'll get to that when we have the webinar coming up this week that we're going to record and then play back for you folks. folks, but or the interview that we have. But with that said, I had a situation 10 years ago. I had a racehorse in Florida. The trainer Ernie called me and was telling me that they had this scar tissue on the ankle, and it was solidifying to the point that it was beginning to restrict movement, and which made it uncomfortable, causing some pain issues, and wanted to know if they used a laser in conjunction with the MagnaWave could soften that scar tissue. Now, are you going to erase the scar tissue? Probably not. The secret there is to be treating the scar tissue right after the damage or the surgery or whatever it was that caused the potential scarring. The sooner you treat, the more removal or the more delay you're going to have in having scar tissue that you don't want. And so, however, we took this horse that had a scar tissue on its ankle like a ball, and you could see it, and kind of a proud flesh looking thing. And so we went after it with a laser in conjunction with the MagnaWave and actually made it very, very pliable. You could almost massage it. Could we get rid of it? No. But did we make it more comfortable to the animal, to the horse, to where it could in fact race? Yes. And this was an injury that was like 3 years old. So Maureen, when you're talking about that, again, I don't know where it is on the horse or what you're dealing with, but can the LZR or the MagnaWave help soften the scarring area and the scar tissue to make it where it does not cause a potential problem? I think it's a good chance, and it's something certainly to work towards, and I hope that helps. And let me fix this here. And so at any rate, Maureen, I hope that answers your question. Let's see. Marlene asked the question, any precautions treating a horse before any kind of vet blood draw work? No. I mean, you're not doing anything to an animal. If they're going to draw blood in an hour or two, you're not doing anything that's going to change if there's a problem with the blood. If they're going to pull it to see, for example, I mentioned this a little bit last week. I had what I thought, and my doctor thought I was having a back issue in my kidneys and into my hip that my doctor thought could possibly be kidney stones. And so at one point I went to the doc and we talked about it and looked at it. They analyzed where my pains were and where they were coming from. They said, could be that, but let's do a blood test to go in and see if your kidneys are operating properly, and this is going, because they can tell by simply doing a blood test that something's going on. And I was at the office and I went down and gave blood. I had been on my machine all morning or various times through the morning that day, treating the area, trying to get more comfortable, and I did, but treating the area, but it was very debilitating to me. But we did a blood test, and the machine had no results on what they were looking for in the health of the organs of my body, and potentiality for infection or potentiality for something going on or something deeper than what we were talking about. And so the quick answer to your question is not really. If they're going to draw blood this afternoon, you can certainly be doing treatments, because you're not going to change it. You're going to change you can rejuvenate the blood and you can improve the blood oxygenation. But if there's an issue there that the blood has, or if there's something going on in an infection somewhere in the body, those symptoms or those markers that they look for are still going to be there. And that type of thing. Now, if they gave the horse some medication and you're treating within a half hour of the medication, and then they're going to draw some blood, you might want to let the medication be fully absorbed into the body before you treat, because you are going to enhance the metabolization of what you're putting into the body. If you're treating at that same time, you're going to help the body with those proteins. But if it's a medicine, you're going to enhance the medicine and how much it is metabolized into the body. So in that type situation, if they're giving injections, you're going to treat, and then they're going to come back and pull something or do something like that. You might want to avoid that, just because you don't want to over enhance the medication that's being given. Typically, we would say if you're administering some medication to a horse, 2 or 3 hours, it's metabolized or whatever, it's into the system, and you're not going to change what's there. We had that question when it came to testing. If after competitions where they test a horse and people all of a sudden saying, gee, we're giving this horse some medication before the event and you're going to treat the horse and maybe is it going to show that there's more medication? No, it's going to show that the medication is there and that it's there. Is it going to show that it's altered the amount of medication in the body? You're only putting so much in, and that's all that's going to show is what's in the blood. And so from the assimilation and that type of thing. So in the testing world, it was never an issue that they would treat a horse, go to competition, come out of competition, would something show up more? No, it typically does not do that from a testing situation. Okay. Any other questions? Simply give me a call, 502-599-9722, and I'd be happy to answer your questions. We'll stay here for just a few more minutes. I've got another appointment that I have to go to at 1 o'clock Eastern time. I'm sorry, it's the only time they had available, but so I'll sneak that in. And but if you do have a quick question here, I'd be happy to answer it, send you a copy of my book, and that I think you'll enjoy and find as a great learning experience. I've learned so much from these doctors and talking with them because they've asked me questions about how they can implement in various therapies into what they're doing. And so we're all learning and growing together from that type of situation. Let's see. That's it. You're welcome, Marlene, on the clarification. Stay a couple more minutes. Mr. Perfect joined us on CastBox. ID 19403369 joined us on CastBox. Go put your identity in there so we can see who's joining us and being with us today. Okay, any other questions? Please put them in there. I'd be happy to answer them. And we'll do it. So a lot of exciting things taking place, and we're working very hard in the background. We want you to be successful in your business. We want you to be successful in your personal health and wellness. And if we can add to that, that's kind of our passion. What we like to do is to help with overall general health and wellness from the individual standpoint and from the practitioner standpoint to help clients be healthier and happier and in this time that we're in as it hopefully unfolds going forward. Okay. Don't forget, Thursday, we'll be putting some links in. Let me see if I can get this turned around properly. Here we go. It's kind of hard looking into the screen to see how I have it placed, but we'll be putting this link up, Pillars of Success. It's on Amazon, but if you'd like to have a look, wait till Thursday. There will be a way for you to get a copy of and to read my chapter and to see that then you might want to be able to purchase the book and learn from the other folks in the book. They're great stories. They're great success actions that they took to be successful in their business. Pillars of Success with Jack and Pat Ziemer and other authors. So we're excited about that. Okay. I don't see any other questions. I know we'll be back next Tuesday with more information and more things to talk about. So I want to thank you for being with me today. It's been a good discussion. Always look forward to more. And so wave on to health and happiness and have a great day. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.